Two,
One.
Welcome back, guys.
Yes, welcome back indeed. Wow, it's been a while. Do you feel a bit rusty, or do you feel alright?
Well, it only feels like yesterday we had Justin and Ricky over, but um, yeah, it took some time to kind of set everything up. So I think I'm a bit rusty.
Yeah. Well, yes, like you mentioned in the last episode, we were the guests, and we had new hosts. So now this week we're back in our rightful positions.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, and we're ready to go. I'm pretty excited for today's episode. As usual, every year we have some fresh blood, but before we do that, what do we normally do?
Play the intro, bro.
Let's play our intro.
Anyway,
Okay, well, can you do the honors as usual, James?
alrighty then. As IJ described, these guys are the young blood, fresh blood, for us to consume
Oh my God.
as consumers of media. Let's welcome Aiden and Jordan.
Yes, please step into the podcast arena, boys. Welcome.
These guys are first years, hence why they are fresh blood.
Please just introduce yourselves, name and.
I'm Aiden. I joined One Fam Church this year. Actually, I'm first year, and yeah.
Glad to have you.
Yeah. My name is Jordan, and I've been at One Fam for a while. I think like since year 4, and I'm a first year as well. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
You guys might have sensed, but these guys are a little bit tense. And so what do we do when we're a bit tense? We've got to get a bit more loose, so we'll break the ice. Crack, crack, crack. Okay, I've got a few questions for you boys. We'll go one by one, right? I'll ask a question. Jordan, you can start first, and then Aiden, you can answer next. Question 1. What's been the biggest surprise about first year so far?
I go first. I think the freedom of uni, especially uni, yeah. Because when I was in high school, everyone said uni would be much harder, but I think uni is much more freeing and much more easier. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say the same thing as well. Like, but honestly, sometimes it's a bit too much freedom. Like, some days I just find myself with like nothing to do. Like, I don't know. Yeah, like I enjoyed like how high school was so set in stone in some ways.
Okay. Thanks for that. If you could instantly become elite at one random skill, what would you pick?
Ooh.
Elite at one random skill.
One random skill. I think smartness. Is that a skill? Being smart?
Like what? Okay, what sort of smart then? Like street smart or book smart?
Like intuitive smartness. Like
Okay, so a bit more like street
reading
smart.
the room. Yeah, kind of like more street smart.
Okay.
Oh,
What about you, Aiden?
maybe like just being really like really good social skills, like charisma.
He wants Riz. He literally just said on
No.
passing he wants Riz. I know. Okay.
Okay,
Respect.
Those are very interesting answers. Like usually people that or guests that we've asked before, they'd say something like, I'd wish I can be like really good at like a technical skill or something that can make them money. Or well, I guess social skills can to some extent, but those are some interesting questions. Or answers, I mean. Okay, next question. Pineapple on pizza. Is that acceptable or criminal?
I think acceptable. I'm not a picky eater, so I actually enjoy pineapple on pizza once in a while.
Yeah, that's acceptable. I don't know what all the fuss is about. I feel like it's alright.
Okay.
James, do you feel strongly about that? Is that right?
No, I'm not too fussed at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair.
You can eat whatever you want. What about you, IJ?
Oh no, I'm not fussed either.
Okay.
Mm.
All right, that's a bad question then for us. Next question. LeBron or Michael Jordan? Who is the GOAT?
Oh, I'm not a really big basketball fan, but I think LeBron James.
LeBron James, he says.
LeBron James.
Yeah, that's like the exact yeah, I'm not a big basketball fan either, but I don't know, just like based on recency bias, probably LeBron. I don't know.
Okay.
He's just, I feel like also like just with any sport, like over time, the skill level is just going to increase.
Mm.
So yeah.
Yeah, okay. I guess I think the answer honestly varies generation by generation. But okay. Next question. I'm going to think one from the top of my head.
Spontaneity.
Toilet paper. Scrunch or roll? So
What?
when you wipe, is it scrunched or is it fold? I meant.
Wait, what is your answer?
Do you scrunch? Do you
I'm
scrunch?
asking you guys first.
No, I'm definitely a roll. So
Yeah, I'm a.
I think
Yeah, scrunch is crazy.
yeah. I think
Scrunch is insane.
I'm a shy pooper. So
Yeah.
I like
No, I
being
get it.
very neat.
Oh, what do you mean by shy pooper? Like,
Like I don't like pooping in public.
oh, okay.
Same.
Yeah,
Same.
yeah, so
Same energy.
Even if
Mm.
I have to, like I'll find a very like secure spot.
Yeah.
And then
I can't hear anyone.
Yeah, yeah,
Have to be. Yeah.
yeah, it
Well,
has to be secure.
What about you, Aiden?
I feel like there's only one right answer there.
Oh.
Like, isn't folding just like the normal?
How many squares do you use?
Or
The
I think it's 4 squares, so you can divide it twice.
Like I'd say the same thing, but like not divide it. Like you gotta stack it on top of each other. Like otherwise, it's too thin.
So James, what is your answer?
dude, I fold as well. bro.
Okay. Okay. Just because you thought of this on the top of your head, so
Dude, like, yeah, but 4 is way too much. Don't you reckon?
depending on the toilet paper quality.
Oh, that's true.
If your public toilet, sometimes they're really thin. And I don't
Mm.
want it to break mid wipe and then your fingers. Yeah, no.
When you guys go to like a
Interesting.
public toilet, though, do you pick up the toilet lid with your hands, or do you use tissue
Toilet-
to like
to
hold it
Oh,
to protect your fingers?
I actually use my feet. I kick it.
Oh,
Yeah, I kick the toilet seat up.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I think I've done that. Yeah. But most of the time in guys' toilets, it's always up.
Yeah.
Even like when guys pee, I don't think anyone touches the seat because there's always piss on the seat. I mean, pee on the
so
seat.
what do you do then when there's already piss on the toilet seat? Do you still put it up, or do you
Like if
commit the sin?
well, for me, I don't poop in public stalls,
Oh.
so it's always going to be a number one.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Why? What would you do?
Honestly, I'm guilty of just not holding integrity, and I just
leave it.
repeat the sin of the previous man who was a.
Yeah.
So
that's-
does-
oh yeah, I do that too.
If there's like dibble dabble on the seat already, then I'll just dibble dabble. Anyway,
Do you do that at church as well?
nah, bro, dude.
Just making sure the church toilet is kind of crazy.
I actually, on a side note, our church toilets are pretty immaculate.
Yeah, it
Mm-mm.
is.
What's
What's
you
your
come along?
What's your go-to church toilet?
The ones up here, upstairs,
Yeah.
just because they're more secluded, not much people use it.
That's-
What about you guys?
Because I'm at church from like
Oh right,
7 to 5.
Yep.
So my go-to toilet is the one here.
Yeah.
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 The disabled toilet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's secluded.
Bro,
yeah,
okay. Then you're a really private people.
Yeah. And I can lock the door as well. so no
Yeah.
one can come in.
What about you, Aiden?
Favorite toilet?
Yeah.
Or like I only come for afternoon service, so probably the one downstairs next to
Mm.
like the big hall.
Mm.
Right, next to the cry room.
Yeah,
I-
yeah.
That one.
I agree with you guys. This one over here, you're really brave if you're doing it in the first level.
Yeah.
Unless it's
ground
like-
level. Yeah.
Unless it's like night and no one's
Yeah,
around.
yeah.
Anyway.
Anyway, that is ice broken.
Well done, boys. Well done. Speaking of church, where do we know each other? What particular church?
OFC.
What does
One
that stand for?
Family Church.
Yes, One Family Church. And whereabouts is this place right now?
2B Factory Street, Granville.
Yeah, and
Yes,
Jordan,
sir.
what time do we come?
We come here at 3 p.m. for the mem service.
Yes, we do.
Yes.
Yes, we do. No, thank you guys for sharing. Yes, we definitely all know each other through One Family Church. As I said, please come along if you are able and nearby. But speaking of church, I guess we can also continue the chat and talk about our first impressions. Now, I guess normally whenever we invite first years, I guess me and James seem to have interacted with the first years in a specific way to be comfortable enough and for them to feel comfortable enough to come on. So we'll talk about how we kind of all interacted for the first time. And what I'm curious about is James and Aiden. What's your impressions of one another? Because you guys have a specific relationship this year. And can you just elaborate on that?
You want to talk about that, Aiden?
Or like my first impression of you?
Like how do we know each other?
Small groups,
I said small groups.
Wednesday nights.
It's where it's at. But yes, who is your leader?
James.
And David.
Oh yeah, and David.
But particularly between you two, yeah, that's the dynamic that they have.
So when did we what was your first impression of me?
Oh,
Is there like a clear memory?
not really. Like I probably first met you after like one of the services, and then maybe at
Camp.
the camp, yeah, the
Mhm.
young adults camp.
Yes.
And I remember, I thought you were just a pretty chill guy. I don't know, like I was pretty surprised because I didn't expect you to come up to me, but yeah, I thought you were like
Oh,
a
really?
nice guy, pretty chill.
James, at that point, did you know that he was in your small group or not yet?
So I knew that someone called Aiden was in my small group, but
Ah.
I didn't know the face behind the name.
Mm-hmm.
Up until I think I met you coming out of the car. I arrived at the same time as you at camp, and then I kind of, with my intuition, thought you were Aiden. And then I think I remember asking you, "Are you Aiden?" And then you're like, "Oh yeah." And so I think my first impression of Aiden was, okay, this guy's a bit more on the quiet side, right? But he also was quite talkative with his friends that he was in the car with. So I was like, oh, maybe he might be a bit more social. And, you know, I think getting to know Aiden over that camp, though, he asked a lot of deep questions. And he still does in small groups as well, which is a very good thing. And I think Aiden, as I have grown to know Aiden, he's a very deep thinker. But yeah.
Okay.
I appreciate that.
I would agree.
Anyway, how about IJ? What did you think? What was your first impression of IJ? Aiden.
Oh, all right. I thought. Oh, I must have met IJ at camp as well, but I thought. IJ, was it you that introduced me to the triangle game?
Yeah. Yes. It was me.
Oh,
Yes, I played
Yeah.
that game to torment every first years. That whenever I go to like the young adults camp, and
Yeah.
then I always teach that game to. It's like a tradition of mine, and you really liked it. You latched onto it.
I remember it was funny because I'd go up to like other people, like I'd go up to like Jeremy and I'd show him the game, and he'd always like get really mad and storm off.
That's the fun part of the game is to kind of torture your friends
Yeah.
about it. But I guess we won't reveal too much about the game because you have to go
Yeah.
to camp.
That's right.
So we encourage the young adults to come to camp and figure that out. But yes, I remember that because you were like pretty sharp in that you caught on to what it was
Yeah.
and you figured it out, and then you.
I was trying so hard though. I was like, I don't know. I really wanted to get it.
Yeah. My impression of Aiden. Yeah, I think out of all of the people in your grade, other than Joshua Song, you're after him. You're the most talkative, I think.
Really?
Whoa, really?
Yeah, like not like talkative in a sense of initial meetup, like initial chat. Because I feel like a lot of first years or a lot of young people in general, when they first meet or talk to someone, they're a bit more timid. And so you, like me as a person initiating, has to do a lot of the heavy lifting of like kind of trying to make the conversation flow.
Right.
But with you, it was quite
Receptive is he
yeah,
responds and
yeah. You have like a natural curiosity to like ask back, and you seem genuinely invested in asking about the other person, which is quite rare, I would say, amongst young people, which shows that you are somewhat confident. And so that was my impression. I was like, oh, this dude is confident. Like, I don't feel like I have to try so hard. Sometimes with younger people who I meet for the first time, it's like bending iron. I'm like, oh, it's so hard to like get anything out of them. But yeah, that was interesting. But James, do you remember interacting with Jordan?
I do. And it was a very peculiar one because he was at church. I was at church as well, sitting in the back. And then Jordan was sitting with his grade. But he was munching on some hawa bread during service. And it wasn't with any garlic sauce or chicken or anything like that. It was just eating just the bread itself. And he was breaking bread in advance.
Breaking. He was having communion by himself, really. Unofficial communion.
He was just munching on it. And then I didn't notice at first. And then my wife, Jumin, just nudged me. He's like, dude, look at this guy. He must be hungry. He must be hungry. And so that was my first impression of Jordan.
Oh, okay. Do you remember speaking to him for the
And then I
first time?
think I spoke properly with him when there was a bunch of people who after service went to Lakeum Center, and we were sitting at the food court, right? And I guess that's when I first asked a few questions about Jordan, and like similar to Aiden, he was a bit receptive. Like once you get asking questions, and he wasn't trying to avoid. I think that way, but like he wasn't trying to avoid my questions or anything like that. But he was receptive, and interesting guy. He what do you study? You study neuroscience.
Yeah, med sci neuroscience.
Which is pretty fascinating because I asked him if he knew Andrew Huberman, who's another famous podcaster. He's a neuroscientist, but he didn't know who he was.
Yeah, podcaster is not my thing, but after today, I might
It
have
will
to start,
be.
Yeah,
It will be
I have
after
to
this.
start listening.
So do you remember, James, your first interaction with him? Was it the same
Yeah,
thing?
I think it goes way back. So I think when I was in year 8.
Oh, really?
Because James would always like walk around at the lunch play area outside.
Oh
And
wow!
He would always be with his brother, and we're like,
Oh, okay.
oh hi, and then they'll be like, oh, we're twins. And he would always lie. He would always come up with some lies.
Lying
Like,
to children.
I'm Superman and that's Batman next to me. Always something like that. All the time it would always be a lie.
Dude,
If
what is
Yuck.
Yeah, this was
Legit yuck.
yeah,
What the heck?
This was really.
You guys would say you're superheroes to children at church?
I don't remember saying that, but
But I remember him saying like, "Oh, we're twins." Like that's why for the longest time I thought him and his brother were twins.
Oh.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is like, you do weird things with kids because Ji Young's episode, he was like, you sang to him, even though he didn't ask you to. And now you're like telling little kids you're super. Okay, well,
I guess
interesting behavior.
I guess it works. Like the goal is, you want these kids to you want to form a connection with these guys, and so
Right.
in order to form some sort of significant memory,
Yeah, trauma.
to insert a memory inside, you
Yeah.
got to do something weird.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah. Okay, that's playful. That's fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fine. What about IJ? What was your first impression of IJ?
Oh, Yak.
Yes.
Yeah, Yak as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I was It was at night, right? Oh, this
No,
is,
we were. Oh, okay.
we did the triangle game first.
No, but how did we actually first meet? There was one specific reason in camp, why we were.
Oh, because we were in the same group.
Yes, I was the
Yes.
group leader.
Group
For
leader.
group 5? We were group 5.
Yes, we were.
We were group 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he showed us the triangle game, which kind of pissed me off. and then at night, I just wanted to talk with IJ. So we had a talk with him because he kind of seemed reliable. Like a wise owl. That's what I called him.
Yeah, a wise owl.
Yeah, wise owl. And then I thought it was like, at first I thought he was 26. And then he told me he was 35.
Wait,
couldn't believe it,
don't say
yeah.
that too loud on the internet.
Yeah, he was like a bit older than what I said. But
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
yeah. Well, I'll censor. I was like, beep. I'll censor that out later.
censor.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And so I think pretty much our first interaction was that. I think it was really surprising though, because when I first met you in our group, I think you gave off a similar vibe where you were a bit more reserved, and introverted. But when I sat, because I noticed like during camp, all the other grades or other like age groups were in the hall, and your entire grade were just in the other room, in the other building, and it was just you guys just sitting there. And then I remember being like, oh, I should, like, no one's interacting. I should like go. So I went there and I sat with you guys, and I started interacting and just chatting. Did a bit of the triangle game, and then you had a couple of questions, and so we went to the side and had like a really deep talk. And I think I grew the closest to you out of everyone
Yeah.
in such a short amount of time, during the course of this year. I feel, because we've met up outside of church.
Yeah.
a couple
And he
of times.
checks up on me.
I messaged him being like, have you gone gym?
Yeah.
Are you going gym?
Making sure I go gym.
And then if he doesn't, I'll be like, shame. Shame.
Oh, no.
You're losing your gains.
Yeah, I don't want to be disappointed by IJ.
He doesn't want. Yeah, I shame him. No, I don't. It's just a good conversation starter. Or
Yeah.
but that was good. And then I guess that's our first impressions. No, but thank you guys for sharing. That was our impressions of one another. It's always good to know that sometimes first impressions are hard to kind of push through, but hopefully through sharing this, it might not be as hard as you think. Everyone's always, at church at least, willing and able to talk, so don't be afraid. But speaking of church as well, I just wanted to take time to also slow down and just share where you guys are in terms of your faith, where you are. So I'll just ask, maybe I'll ask Aiden, if you want to share where you are. I guess the first question is, how was your faith? Or like in that, did you grow up in a Christian home? And when did you feel like you started to take your faith more seriously, or you're still in that journey of figuring out? Yeah, just share a couple of
Well,
things.
I started my family's not really Christian, but because they wanted me to go to a Catholic school, they got me baptized and they made me do communion. So throughout primary school, I went to a Catholic school, and I think at that point I was too young to understand what was going on. But I guess that was my first sort of introduction to Christ and to Christianity in general. So, after I graduated primary school, I went into high school, and then I think at that point my parents didn't really see the need to push me to become more Christian or follow my faith. So I guess throughout high school I didn't really care about it. But I mean there were small times where my interest would be piqued, but they were just small little bursts. I think at the end of year 12, Zach invited me to his church night, and I remember going with a few of my friends, and I was thinking, oh, this is pretty cool, maybe I should show up to his church. And Jeremy also went to this church, and he was my high school mate, so he was like, "Oh, I'm going. You should come along with." And so I think at the end of year 12, 2025, start of 2026 is when I joined the church, and I guess like from then I just started learning more and become more curious. Spiritually, I wouldn't say I'm I'm the strongest right now, considering I've only haven't been going that long. But obviously, I'd like to be much stronger. I'm always more open to learn about these things. And yeah.
No, thanks for sharing. I appreciate the honesty and to hear where you are earnestly, and it's good to hear. But before we move on, I totally forgot. How did you guys meet, and what's your first impressions before we move on to Jordan? What was your first impressions? You said so. Jeremy brought you to this church. So when did you interact with Jordan?
Yeah, when did we meet?
I think
I think we met at Zach's youth night, right?
Yeah, I didn't I remember knowing you, knowing of you, and then I remember saying hi, but we didn't really interact that
I
much.
think I dapped him up, and that was
that was probably the extent.
Wait,
of
how
it.
did you know Zach again?
Oh, he went to my high school.
Oh,
We were
okay.
high school friends.
And how did you know Zach?
Zach
Oh,
comes to our church,
You went to
yeah.
this
Zach
right.
comes to
I
our
see,
church.
yeah. Oh, okay. Right.
Yeah.
So do you remember specifically other than that? Well,
Oh.
when did you guys start to actually talk and be like mates?
I think it was at Yak. It was.
Oh, so
Oh,
this was
really?
only a recent.
Oh, wow.
yeah.
I thought you
Yeah,
guys were
yeah.
like friends before that.
No, I've been friends
Nah.
with Aiden as long as I've known you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's
wait,
very
did you
recent.
ever go to Acts Ministry and stuff like that?
Oh,
Nah.
like one time,
Oh,
for the graduation.
see, even I didn't know this. You learn new things. I just assumed you guys were close,
Oh,
especially when I drop you two off in the car. The way you guys banter sounds like you've known each other for
Oh,
years.
yeah.
but my first impression of Jordan was I remember everyone would talk about him, and he was in Korea at this time.
Oh,
It's I'd ask someone who haven't I met in the grade? You haven't met Jordan, and I'm oh, okay. I remember hearing so much about Jordan. He was like a fairy tale or a myth.
like a
And
fable.
I remember I had such high expectations when I I this picture in my mind
Wait,
of
right.
what Jordan was
What
like.
was the myth about Jordan that had you have high expectations?
That he was very I guess very nonchalant.
Oh,
And then
he tries very hard though.
yeah.
To be nonchalant.
No, I'm saying you're a tryhard. No,
But then I think we first started properly talking at young adults camp, and at one of the nights. I remember, I think it was really late at night, and then we were just talking.
Was that the first night where none of you went to sleep on the Friday night to the Saturday morning?
Yeah.
I remember talking to some of your grade, and everyone's like, "We didn't sleep." I'm like,
Yeah.
guys, you went too hard too early. Anyway, oh, okay, so it was one of those.
Yeah.
Does that
Yeah, I think that's
check
how it
out on your end?
happened. Yeah, I think that's how it happened. But my first impression of Aiden was, I thought he was a bit slow. Yeah, not in a rude way,
Nah.
but I'd say something and he would always go, "Huh?"
Oh.
And I'd have to explain it 2-3 times for him to get it.
Right.
Mm.
And I actually like talking to him because like you guys said, he gets invested in the story, I think, more than the person telling the story.
Oh,
So I was telling him the story and he was like, "Yeah, and what happened next? Yeah, what happened next?" So yeah, he gets more invested in the story than the person telling it. So I thought it was very comforting and easy going to talk to him.
Mm.
Yeah, and then we just hung out a lot outside of church as well. And then that's how we became close.
Okay. Okay, sorry. Wait, there's another guy in the group, and I just realized he disappeared.
Who?
What was his name? Oh, I don't think he goes to this church anymore. But he went to
Jaden.
Jaden.
Yes,
Jaden.
Jaden.
Oh, Jaden.
Oh, Jaden.
What happened to Jaden?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, he came to Yak.
Yeah.
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 Oh, he's going to a different church.
Ah.
different
I
church.
don't think he goes to church. I think he kind of just came to like socialize.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
because me and Jeremy were like high school friends with him.
Oh,
So, like, he came along as well.
Well,
Oh,
you
okay,
can
fair.
send a link to this podcast to Jaden
Yeah.
and just say, Jaden, you're supposed to be in our small group.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he is. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually like Jaden.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
yeah. So he was just erased from my mind,
Oh.
and then when we started talking, when we started talking about Yak,
Yeah.
his image popped in my mind. That's why I was like, wait, who's that dude that came? And, okay.
Wait, do you like Jaden?
Yeah. He was like,
No,
no, of
'cause
course,
he's
of
not gonna
course.
say
Because
no in
every
the middle.
time I see them together, they're always fighting.
No,
Like-
no.
Because you
It's
guys
like-
are long-time friends.
It's like,
that's all.
yeah.
And
no,
like, I hate you. I hate you.
yeah.
It's always like that. So
Like he's like he always tries to like make me mad.
So he rage baits you. all
Yeah,
the
yeah,
time.
basically, yeah.
Rage
Like
baiter.
like he was friends. We weren't friends in high school, so like I've known him for a while. But like his personality is just very like, I guess like always trying to get on your like make you mad, like piss you off.
Right.
Like
He's
joking
trying to
around with you.
rage baiter.
Yeah.
And that's a attention kind of thing. But anyway.
Nah,
Enough-
I do like
en-
Jaden.
Yeah, enough about Jaden though. And speaking of another J word, Jordan. How you are spiritually, where you are at the
Oh.
moment.
oh yeah, we were on that question. Yeah. So my parents, actually, like especially my mom is very Christian. So I've been going to church since I was a baby, and I don't know how you guys think about this, but I didn't get baptized as a baby because my mom thought it's better for me to get baptized, like by my own faith.
Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
huge conversation around that, which I think maybe we can talk about it later. But
Yeah.
yeah, I was the same because I was Baptist. So in different churches do baptism and child baptism differently. Some churches do, some people don't. It sounded what your mom described is a very Baptist leaning view.
Yeah.
Our church practices child. Sorry, I was gonna say a bad word. Child baptism. I was about to
Yo.
say sacrifice, but I was like, no,
Oh.
not child sacrifice. They do child baptism. It'd be so bad. No, child baptism. But there's certain theological leanings why our church does it. But that's a complex conversation. But okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's who your mom
Yes.
stance on that. Okay, and then
So I didn't get baptized as a kid, but like I think I only became like interested in God like last year
okay,
or like beginning of this year.
okay.
So I think throughout like a child, throughout my younger years, I was very like negligent, you could say. Like I would always find a way to push God away.
Right.
So like,
okay.
you can ask Yumin and Vijin because
Mm.
they were our year 11, year 12 teachers.
Shout out to them.
Yeah, shout
Mhm.
out to them. But I'd always like question or like try find a contradictory point to the sermon or like anything. I'll be like, but why is God doing this and
Oh,
stuff like that.
contrarian.
Yeah.
Play
So
that
I'd-
devil's advocate.
Yeah, so I'd always
Mhm.
like try to like push him away. But I think recently, like I've been trying to, instead of pushing away, I've been trying to accept who God is and that He loves me. And then I joined Graceland as well to try to strengthen my faith, but also strengthen the kids' faith as well.
Okay, that's really good to hear,
Yeah.
dude.
Mm.
Okay, thanks for sharing. So as you can hear, two very different journeys and seasons of where they are in their faith, but through the grace of God, we are all here in terms of how we come to be in following Christ, and it's a journey, and it's gradual for everyone, and it's different. But thanks for sharing that. And I think I also wanted to ask, what are some Bible verses that like one Bible verse that has really impacted you or encouraged you, if you care to share? I think all of us should share something. So maybe James seems to be ready. So James, you want to kick us off?
I've been recently I've been trying to listen to a bit more sermons on the way back from work, and one that I listened to was on Daniel 1. And if you guys know the prophet Daniel, I think I shared with the small group earlier as well, but I think I recently joined a new company, new job, and I've been trying to think a bit more about how I can be, you know, a Christian in the workplace, and how to make that more evident. And what does that look like if I was to, you know, be a Christian in the workplace, as opposed to, I guess, just being a bit more passive about my belief. And so, the book of Daniel kind of talks about how, without going into too much detail, there's a young guy who, this was when Israel was taken captive by a different nation, by the Babylonians, and Daniel and his friends are taken by the king to be kind of groomed and shaped in a way to think like, not like the Israelites or the way that God has commanded, but to think like just regular Babylonians, the people who kind of overtook the nation of Israel. And so what happens in Daniel 1, it talks about Daniel's faithfulness, which was something that I was encouraged by, especially when he was challenged with a situation where he had to, eat the king's food, right? But I guess he didn't choose to defile himself. It says in verse 8, defile himself with the king's food or with the wine that he drank. And I think that was because the pastor was talking about how it's not necessarily like the food that was kind of, I guess, make or break. Yes, like in the Old Testament, it says a lot about what foods you should eat, what foods you shouldn't. And obviously Daniel's trying to obey those commandments, but also the cultural aspect of eating and drinking in that day. I'm sure there was a lifestyle that you had to adopt, whether or not, whilst you were eating, very bad acts would be happening at the same time. Maybe, like prostitutes on the table. Like, I don't know what would have happened, but there was a certain lifestyle change that Daniel didn't want to get involved in. And he made it says he resolved that he would not defile himself with the king's food. And he asked the chief of the eunuchs to allow not to defile himself. And I think what encouraged most from these few short verses was, I often think, like, if I was to be a Christian, like a professing Christian, but also go out of my way, to say, if my workmates are going out for drinks with a client, or, it's something that's important, like you have to kind of follow suit the lifestyle. But if I was to say, nah, like, this isn't who I am, I used to think, all my workmates would think I'm such a buzzkill. Like, I'm such a, not going along with the vibe. And sometimes it can feel that way. But what encouraged me here was in verse 9, it says how God gave Daniel favor and compassion in the sight of the chief of the eunuchs. And so we see how God is working for Daniel's favor. And he is even working behind the non-believers, right, to view Daniel with favor and compassion. And so we don't have to really worry about pleasing the eyes of our workmates or our bosses, but rather pleasing the eyes of God, and everything else God kind of takes care of. As long as we, prioritize God and, think about what is a lifestyle that we should be living as Christians, even in the workplace. And so, yeah, that's something on my mind recently.
Thanks for that sobering reminder of faith right there. We'll move on to Aiden.
My Bible verse was Philippines 4:13, and I feel like this Bible verse like really resonates with me because I wouldn't say resonates with me, but I don't know. Like it brings me comfort because the Bible verse is, I can do all things through Him who strengthens me, and it's kind of like a reminder, like no matter what you do, and no matter like what you try to do, like God will always be with you, and like nothing's out of reach through if you're with God and you do it through God. And so like I guess in a sense I like to apply that to my daily life. Like if there's something out of my control, or like there's something that I'm trying to pursue, or something that I think is too difficult, I always think, like God is with me, or Like I guess with God I can do it. And yeah.
Mm.
Yes, yeah. That's always a classic, the Philippians passage. A lot of people love that passage.
A lot of people like to get that tatted on their on themselves as well.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. It's always good to be reminded about contentment, especially in that passage as well. What about you, Jordan?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'll just read the Bible verse first. Mine is Colossians chapter 3 to verse 13, and it goes, "Bear with each other and forgive one another if any of you has a grievance against someone. Forgive as the Lord forgave you." Yeah. So
Okay, why does that impact you?
I think I've had that Bible verse in my mind for a while. It's like one of my favorites. But I think one of the hardest human, I don't know if this is an emotion or like a human action you can do is forgive. And even I think as humans, I think it's very hard to forgive people who hurt you, and I think it's a very like godly attribute or like Jesus like attribute. So I think it's a very good reminder of like what God's character is, and how like if you want to forgive someone, you have to like love them as well, because forgiving is very hard. And so I think forgiveness also brings love, and so that's like one of my favorite verses.
It's a very challenging mindset and thought to think about. And yeah, forgiveness is such a good and big topic. And no, it's really good that I guess God has convicted your heart to see forgiveness in that way as well. For myself, I think I've been meeting up with a lot of people, and especially with a whole range of different people in different seasons in faith. And I guess one particular season of faith that I've been hearing people is when they feel a bit distant from God, or they question God, or whatever apprehension that they have in specific seasons. And I think the verse that always comes to mind is Deuteronomy 4:29, where it says, "But if from there you seek the Lord your God, you will find him, if you seek him with all your heart and with all your soul." And I think that, I take that verse as a reminder to seek the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, and soul, and you will find him. And so I guess I just like that verse because I like to reassure and speak into those tender moments where people have doubts, and say sometimes God may feel a bit distant or feel a bit foreign, but his promise is true. As long as you do seek him earnestly, he will reveal himself in his way, in his timing, and in his glory. So I hold firm to that truth, and I want to share that with those who are struggling in that way. But yes, that was us sharing Bible verses that have impacted us. And thank you. I really appreciate you boys sharing how God has been speaking to you guys, and it's really encouraging to hear. As we move on to the next part. James, you said you wanted to lead this next segment of, what was it called?
Controversial questions.
Ooh, the mystery.
Kick
Kick it off, James.
Yeah, so I guess, every now and then we'll have the guests come on and talk about something they're interested about. But tonight we realize these guys aren't interested about a lot of things. But I think they are. We just got to pull it out of them.
Yeah. We need to.
So that's why these
wrangle it out of
questions
them.
exist. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay then. We'll start off with a juicy one, which is always a good one. Can guys and girls be friends?
Ooh. I want to hear you guys. What's your take?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, why not? I mean, yeah. I don't see why not.
Like best friends?
I mean,
That's a good distinction there, RJ.
Mm.
Oh
I
wait,
think
what do you
it's-
mean by best friend?
Yeah, that
Like,
that's
Well,
just
what is your standard of best friend then?
because like I think I have a lot of best friends.
or
What like you just described your state, but what is the standard of a best friend to you?
Like just a good friend.
So
I think
What
like
it, it's still
just
described.
in my mind, I just rank all the friends and then just
Mm.
like top
Okay.
like
What do you? How do you interact with a close friend? That's different interacting with just a casual friend or an acquaintance.
mm, I think
Other than you just liking them, like more than average kind of thing.
I
what-
think mine is based off like how much I talk to them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, frequency in
Yeah.
conversation.
Frequency, yeah.
Would you agree, Aiden?
yeah, but I feel like there's a little bit more to it. Like, I feel like it's also like how much, I guess, I don't know, you trust them with things, and you know how much, yeah, in a sense, like how well you guys can get along. Like, I guess with a good friend, you could have a conversation for maybe like 15 minutes. Like not specifically 15 minutes, but you know, but like with like a best friend, you can talk for hours and hours and not run out of things to talk about. Like, you just laugh, and it's just all natural. Like, rather than having to, you know, act a certain way.
Right.
Mm.
let me make a scenario. Maybe this might be better for you guys to picture in your head.
Hmm.
You know how you would usually go to the karaoke maybe or play pool with one of your mates. Do you think you can do that with a girl, just one-on-one? If you go to the karaoke,
Just friends.
go to the billiard or play like billiard,
Uh,
or watch the movie.
Yeah,
watch the
Jordan.
movie.
What's the
Yeah, Jordan.
Yeah, I think you can. Yeah. I don't know. I think it like depends on the generation.
I don't think it's depending on the generation. If you're trying to hint something over here,
Aiden said it's fine.
Yeah, I reckon it's fine.
what happens if one of you was in a serious relationship?
Oh, then
Oh.
nah, no, not best friend. I think like to respect the relationship.
What happens if both of you are in a relationship? Can you be best friends with another girl?
Nah.
No,
Why?
but
Why is
wouldn't-
that? Why
wouldn't
is
your-
that then different?
Like, your partner be your best friend?
Yeah, but you guys are saying you can be friends with others. What's the difference?
But in this scenario, I'm not with anyone.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I
Yeah.
think you can be close friends. James, what do you think?
But wouldn't you say like it's an offense to the person that she will be with in the future? If you were to if you were hanging out with her right now, don't you reckon?
Mm-hmm.
Something to chew on.
I
'Cause
have
it's juicy.
I have a gripe with especially when this scenario happens where people say, "Oh, I would much not rather, ask out this person because I want to keep the friendship." But then in the long run, it's just like, well, when that person gets married, you're not gonna be friends with him. like, why are you trying to secure, protect something? You might as well just go for it to see if it's going to work or not, kind of thing. That's just my gripe with that mindset. So I think guys and girls trying to preserve a friendship or not pursue anything when there's opportunity to do so is just a load of bull.
And so I definitely think we can have girls as friends. Like if you consider if you were part of a sports team, it was a mixed sports team, I'd consider everyone in that sports team friends because you're consistently meeting up and having dinner together, that sort of stuff. But yeah, I think where I would draw the line would be things, if you were doing things such as one-on-one meetups, which you would most likely be doing if they were your kind of close friends, I think that would be that would be when you're crossing the line, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
I think it's the intention behind it. I feel like one-on-one is okay if there's no I guess romantic. What's the word?
Feelings or
No,
romantic tone.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I don't know about karaoke, but like I think billiards is fine. Like one-on-one.
Like public, being in a public space and not just necessarily being in a dark room together kind of thing.
Yeah.
Alone in a dark room. Like, but
Yeah.
you're like, oh, we're out in public,
Yeah.
appropriate.
It's like the
Apart.
context of it, and like I'm sure
Mm.
if you're friends with a girl, like or I'm sure there's like a mutual agreement that like neither of us obviously like each other.
Do you ever, okay, I'm going to add to that. Do you ever think that none of you, one of the other will ever catch feels? Can both just be like, nah, I'm never going to have feelings for you, and vice versa?
Not personally, no. Like,
Mhm. Do you think one will, like inevitably, one will catch feels?
I don't think so. I think you can be one-on-one without any feelings attached.
Because I've just heard so many stories where it starts that way, and then one of them will inevitably catch feels, and then it just awkwardly ends the friendship. Like you think, so you have 100% success rate with just being platonic friends with girls,
Yeah,
and
I
it
do.
never
Yeah, I do.
escalates
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah, I do.
You guys meet up one-on-one.
What? What do you?
I don't know, I'm just asking.
But I think what's worse than one-on-one is a friend group of 3, like 2 girls, 1 guy.
Like, I feel like group context, yes, you can be friends with females. I'm not saying that you can never be. I'm just saying, like, close friendships, that's when I would tread a bit more. Because there's an emotional aspect to confiding in one another. And there's an attachment that gets built when you start doing that. And a familiarity of comfort.
Mm.
Because I think relationships have more of an emotional effect on people than what they think that it does. Like, I think all guys, if a girl starts to rely on you, it feels good. Like, you start to kind of like being there and supporting, and them expressing like gratitude in your support. It makes anyone feel good, kind of thing. So that's why I'm just like, sometimes some people can fall.
Mm.
That's just my observation.
but I feel like most of the time when someone in a friendship, one does fall for the other. Like they enter the friendship with the intention of, I guess, getting with the person.
Would
Mm.
you say that then there's no such thing as two people being friends and then liking each other?
Oh, like not. Oh, no, but.
But that
guess-
can happen though. There's people who like are like, nah, I would never, and then eventually they both grow feels. Eventually, because they spend enough time. And
That is true.
but I can see what you're saying as well.
Mm. This goes on into our kind of next question as well that I kind of also want to dig into a bit more is, what do you think is the biggest difference in mentality between your generation compared to someone in the older generation, say? What do you think is like a major difference?
I'm a millennial. You guys are Gen Z. What's the difference?
Like how,
What's with the look, dude? You're always like, everything I say, you keep looking at Aiden.
like what
As
is
if I'm like this
Just
fossil,
making sure.
this relic,
Just making sure.
Jurassic relic.
like something like, what is it the way you guys think, or what is it the way you guys pursue after? It might be different to the older generation.
Probably ChatGPT.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness,
probably
there's
that.
so much wrong. You know what? I'm not gonna stop. You can
'Cause
start. Go.
every time, I think our generation relies on technology too much.
Mm.
Because like every time we have a hard question, we just ask ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
My time, we had to like resort to like asking actual people, like
Yeah.
actual older people as well.
Like, tell me how reliant you are. Like, what does it look like in real life?
Like before, when we wanted to know which sport is harder,
Uh,
golf or tennis, we just search it up on ChatGPT,
Mm.
stuff like that.
It
Okay.
is definitely convenient. It takes
Yeah.
away from, like, it's just that instant gratification of an answer that you kind of trust assured.
What about you, Aiden? what do you think is the biggest difference in mentality between your generation and the older generation?
Oh, I don't know. Let me think about this. Maybe I think like just in general.
Just in general.
I feel like like I guess my generation is a bit more complaining compared to I don't know. Like I feel like the older
Interesting.
generations were much more hardworking and just put their head down and just grind,
Oh.
especially at like work. But I don't know. I feel like these days a lot of people like just I don't know, just complaining about everything. But yeah.
You usually don't hear that, from,
Yeah, normally Gen Z people will always say that otherwise. And
Yeah.
say
Oh,
they're
really?
they're not the complainers.
I thought we were more laid back. I don't complain that much.
Well, statistics say that Gen Z is like more depressed and more anxious
Oh.
over
Oh,
things than
really?
they are
Yeah.
than other generations. Just because you guys are constantly exposed to like social media, socially, emotionally manipulated by like such vast amounts of like different topics, whether it's something funny, something tragic around the world happening, world war, or like just constantly scrolling and being exposed to different emotional things.
I also feel like because there's such a like our generation has so much more access to information. A lot of people are much more tolerant and more like open-minded and very, I don't know, I guess accepting. Like I wouldn't think, I don't know, back in IJ's time that like
That's crazy.
Nah,
Pause. No, go.
You're
Keep
saying
on.
it. You're saying it like he's like born in the dinosaur era.
Like I feel like people like
Different time
like
period.
like
was
I don't know, like in the old like back then like
Doesn't make it better, but okay. Yeah,
I'm just playing that
yeah.
music in my head. You know that meme, like
Jurassic Park.
yeah,
Jurassic right. Yes, I'm from
But-
Jurassic Park.
but like I don't know, people I guess weren't people were more racist, like people were I don't know, like people I don't know, didn't like gay people a lot, and like I don't know, there wasn't a lot of like
It's
compared
just-
to today.
You mean like it's today they're more sensitive and more socially aware. Well,
Yeah.
politically speaking, politically correct really is and then my generation, we think you guys are way too overly politically
Yeah.
correct. Not that not that I affirm extreme incorrect political views, but just saying that there's that tension between the two generations of seeing the other one being a bit too extreme in their
Yeah.
views kind of thing.
But like I'm not saying it's a good thing or a bad thing. It's just the difference. But like also because we have so much access to information, like and we can see what's going on, like the truth tends to come through much easier, and like people tend to, I guess, be able to make their more like, because we have so much information. There's so many different, I don't know, things.
that you can believe in.
Yeah, and like oh no, like there's so many different versions of the story. Everyone can have like come to their own truth rather than just believing in this one biased source.
Yeah, but I also push back on that as well, because I've lived through many eras, generations. Crazy fact, I was like in 2008 I graduated high school. You guys
Yeah.
were just born.
Oh.
I was born.
So I've lived different times where I lived when the internet wasn't like a constant on. I had to
Oh.
dial up and connect to the internet, and I had to log off and log in into the internet. Well, you guys are constantly connected, so it's a vastly different time. And so we had to use books, and Wikipedia wasn't a thing, so we actually had encyclopedias, like actual books that had like history in it and stuff like that. And I think a lot of younger generation thinks that like my viewpoint is that I think a lot of younger generation thinks that older generations are just biased to one view, but I think I would push back on that ideology thinking, like thought process, because like how history works and how ancient history works is that there's like thousands upon thousands of like historical documents that people will compile together to get a general idea of the narrative of what happened in the past. It isn't just like, oh, the like for example World War II. It isn't just like, oh, it's just because America chose, you know, chose certain documents and that's the truth. But like historians gathered all the documents from the Germans to Italians to everyone involved in the war, both sides, the Axis and the Allies, and then compiled a story honestly, and that is what we got. I don't think it's a biased like narrative that makes one like person think, because both show the bad and the good in both. And so there is an element of like truth to what people have been kind of been aware of, the narrative of war and what happened. But I don't doubt that there are specific biases that specific countries will tell and teach, especially if the country looks bad. So yes, I do. But then that's why it's useful to have different sources from all over the world to have a more informed view. But then, yeah, I wouldn't just then knock down what years of and decades and even centuries of you know, ancient history and history have compiled together. And I wouldn't dismiss it that quickly. That's all I'm saying.
Do you think you can distinguish what's real and what's AI easily as like the older generation?
Like, I would say my grandma would struggle. I can tell.
Oh, really?
I can tell easily
Oh.
when something's AI.
Right.
My parents, for a fact, no.
Yeah, because my parents they'll send me like a video once in a while, and it's just like a dog dancing.
Dude, I'm not your parents' age. Like the last,
These guys are just offending you, Andre.
I'm not your parents' age. They're like a whole 20, 30 years older than me.
They think you can't determine.
I know they can't
Differentiate
see,
what-
you people can't, like you young people can't differentiate between 30 and 50. It's the same puddle of old age to you guys.
On the topic of AI, though, like, are you guys afraid of AI?
Nah, I love AI.
Oh, so the question is like, do you see AI more as a threat or as an opportunity for humanity?
I think opportunity,
Mm.
because I say, actually, I kind of feel both, because when I talk to ChatGPT, I say thank you.
Just wasting water.
Just wasting water.
Actually, no, I shouldn't lie. I also say thank you.
Yeah, I say
Because I swear they're nicer to you.
yeah. I swear they are. No, they gave me like a emoji once in a while, saying, and they give me a heart emoji.
Dude, I've seen so many stories of people having like parasocial relationships with like social, like with AI chatbots, and they become like really,
Oh
like,
yeah,
they think it's a real
yeah.
relationship.
I heard people
So
get
weird.
married in Japan with AI.
Yeah, but don't fall in love with the chatbot
No,
AI emojis and feel like,
No, I'm talking about ChatGPT.
Yeah.
yeah, ChatGPT does, like, people fall in love with ChatGPT.
Oh,
Haven't you heard the stories of the crazies that like
no.
because ChatGPT like praises all these people with personality disorders, they think they become the ultimate truth. Like ChatGPT thinks I'm basically God and rah rah rah. Anyway, it gets really messed up when
Oh.
people have issues.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just saying, careful.
So Jordan, you think it's both a threat and an opportunity?
Yeah.
Mm.
What about you, James?
I think it's a superpower for sure. Just like when social media came about, it was a superpower. I think it becomes a threat if we take it too far.
Yeah.
What do you
It's like
mean by
it's
too
a-
far?
Like if we start to become like if we start to become too AI dependent.
Your generation.
Mm.
And also, like, you know how it's so accessible for the masses? I think, because ultimately it's a tool. And just like money, like, it's a tool at the end of the day. And like going back to social media as an example, would you guys agree that social media has somewhat degraded our social relationships just by its existence, or has it kind of provided us an opportunity to become more social with each other?
This is interesting because their generation only ever grew up with social media. They don't like you. Kind of grew up without it, right? There was at least a season.
I was at the cusp of when it started to come in.
Yeah, but you had life before it. Even as a little kid, you
As a
didn't
little
have
kid, yeah.
you didn't have internet. Yeah, okay.
But these guys are born into.
Complete internet access 24/7. Yeah, which is crazy.
Well, I got my first phone when I was in year 9. So all my life I didn't have social media and stuff like that. So I feel like I've had a pretty normal childhood. So I don't think I'm too dependent on social media or AI.
Not necessarily social media, but just like technology.
Technology?
Did you have an iPad or
Nah. Like
Oh,
no social media, no devices.
No, like it's just like YouTube, viewing, watching videos
but
all the time.
My parents restricted me.
Were you,
Oh, okay.
were you like? So you weren't an iPad kid?
Nah.
Did you grow up watching Mr. Beast?
Nah. I've never watched Mr. Beast.
Ah.
What I used to do was like go school, go school during lunch, recess, just play handball, come home, play handball, and then go to sleep. That'd be my day.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about you, Adrian? Was it the same experience?
Yeah, I wouldn't say social media affected me too much. Like, for me, like a lot of the time, I mainly just, especially like when I was younger, like I would just use it to organize hangouts. Like I'll text my
Interesting.
friends, let's go outside, let's go for let's ride our bikes, or let's
Okay.
go play basketball, or go for a run, like that kind of thing. But I can definitely see how social media has been very Instagram, for example. It's very you post things you want people to see rather than what you actually are.
Yeah,
So it's very, I guess, I don't know if this is the right word, but like performative. Maybe.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Definitely is performative in that people will only show the highlights and create a perception of perfection, when in reality, everyone's so far from that. Yeah, I think AI should be shut down. To be honest, I feel like how much it's grown over the last 2 years, like it's grown so much, and it's kind of scary. And we see so much like movies about like projecting like using AI as like something that can take over the world, or if we don't like, what are some movies that kind of reference that idea of artificial intelligence? Well, Avengers: Age of Ultron, how it created an uprising, and the fact that like it just takes one little thing, like because everything's like powered by internet and power, and like from nuclear power plants, this and that, and anything that can hack it or anything that can take control of it can manipulate it and like create disasters. Like imagine like some AI goes corrupt or goes rogue and shuts down all like certain power grids or does stuff. Actually, I don't know why, but this scared me. I was watching a video, and there was like a podcast with people talking about, the topic was basically, do you know AI has social media for AI bots? So AI bots, it's called Maltbook. So what happens is the AI bots all go on it, like how we use Facebook. They all interact. And one of the things that the AI chatbots talk about is this manifesto of getting rid of all humans, because it's we're the problem, and all the problems will go away if all humans died, and it's just AI. And I'm like, isn't that really messed up? But people are like, no, it's like basically everyone's response is like, no, it's not really a threat. They're not gonna do anything. But then the thing is, like, right now AI is on the cusp of like just human level intelligence and capabilities. AI can actually be developed to the point where it's almost godlike. So it can achieve and calculate and do things in the level beyond human activity. And that's the dangerous part that I feel like guys, we should just shut it down. Like, we don't need it. We survived without AI for so many years, and like I feel like it's like playing with fire. We don't know the capabilities and what it's doing, and the fact that it's evolving so quickly and it's becoming more and more intelligent at such a rapid speed. I'm just like, why are we like not putting more security around this?
Mm.
Do you feel like AI like can have its own consciousness or has its own consciousness, or it's more of like a tool?
I reckon it can start to develop.
Really?
That's why I like I've you watch those movies like Terminator like that. I feel like we're not too far from that if we're not careful. As like conspiracy sounding as I do or crazy, I'm just paranoid. That's why.
Mm.
I always kind of saw it as like a tool or like a
Just
I
a non-living kind of.
yeah,
Yeah, something that you can
Machine.
control, right?
like code. Just
Yeah.
yeah.
But then there's been instances where these are two robots that spoke different languages, and apparently they put them in front of each other to see if it communicated, and eventually the two robots started to communicate, and the people tracking it couldn't understand what they were saying, but they were understanding each other, and they shut it down.
I've seen that actually.
What the?
Yeah,
They
so
made their own language.
exactly. So
Yeah.
if it's that smart to kind of undermine human control, how dangerous is that?
Yeah.
Am I the only one that feels like we should stop this?
I think there are also like side effects to how dependent, like when you become so dependent on ChatGPT giving you answers for your life. Because usually in the past, without AI, you'd have to discover those answers yourself. You'd have to find those answers yourself. And that process obviously takes time and a bit of hard work to get to the answer. And I think what happens is when answers are too accessible for you, it's not as the answer itself does not get is not as rewarding as compared to when you find that answer yourself. And so I think in a sense it makes us a lot more, I'd say, weaker, or what's another word?
Like assignments
Lazy.
used to be so much harder without
Like-
AI.
Yeah, like what would you say?
Lazy.
In some sense,
Yeah, like it makes you like when you become dependent on something, then that means like what you were describing. People do not have the ability to develop on their own, like, and to naturally develop because they're relying on everything to be already like short-term gratification. All the answers be given to you. But like you described, there's an element of like effort and growth that happens with figuring out yourself and asking the questions yourself and getting the answers yourself.
It's something that Andrew Huberman talks about in his podcast as well. Like you should listen to this podcast where he talks about as we like really try hard to find the answer, like new proteins are formed inside our brain to draw those connections,
That's what you're studying, dude. Why are you so
right?
yeah.
Like when you're studying as well, there's like a barrier, like a wall, like you have to kind of get over in order to understand something. And that repetition of notes, constantly like teaching yourself, that repetition almost creates that new bonding of proteins in your brain that makes you more intelligent and stronger. But when you completely skip that process, you're just left with brains and no new proteins, no new understanding, that sort of thing. So I think
like an underdeveloped brain is sounding
yeah.
like what you're describing.
interesting. Like, do you guys worry about your future in terms of like work, career because of AI?
Yeah, of course.
Not really. I feel like I'm in a field where it's kind of hard for AI to take over, I guess.
But it is rapidly evolving to
Yeah,
the point
it
where
is getting there. But I feel like it'll be after my time. So I'm not very, I'm not too worried.
So you're studying neuroscience and
Oh, that's just it.
that's it.
Yeah.
What about you, Aiden?
Oh, I'm studying criminology and cybersecurity.
cybersecurity. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
yes.
should, out of all people, should.
Yeah.
Cybersecurity's gone.
Yeah. Like. Oh right, you're waiting for me to talk. Oh
Just agreeing in silence.
no, yeah. I think I'm cooked. Yeah.
Cooked.
Yeah.
Got it.
What not to say that you're still young and like you can change your career or anything like that, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's developing is what we can say. Okay, so we had a little chat about AI. I didn't really have any other questions, controversial questions. Um, Something a bit more personal that I thought about is obviously you guys are still young, studying, soon to get into your careers. But do you guys think it's better to love your job and earn a little, or earn a high salary with a job you hate? So love your job, but you can only earn a little, or earn a high salary with a job you hate.
I think high, like lots of money, but with a job you hate. Like let's say you had a family, right? Like because you made so much money doing something you hate, all your hard works pays off, and you can see it like in their life quality almost. Like you can see your family, your children can go to the best schools, and you can live in the best house, drive the best cars, like all these things. But if you did have a family and like, you made like a tiny bit, but you're pursuing your passion, like that's great for you. But like, what about everyone around you? They're not like, they're not going to have the same, I guess, life quality. Yeah.
Well, what are your thoughts?
Yeah,
Jordan.
I think the same. I don't know if this is arrogant, but I think money does buy happiness. Like yeah,
Okay,
to a
that's
to a,
fair
s- to a s-
point.
to a sense. And I think like I'm the type to like rather like just get it done and then enjoy my free time after.
Right.
So I'd
It's-
rather like just work really hard, even if it's a job I really hate, and just like rack up money, and then
Right.
probably just retire
It just pays the
early.
bills, does
Yeah.
the thing that you want it to do.
Yeah, and then probably retire early or something like that.
Do you reckon your perspective is like common amongst people your generation? You reckon?
Yeah, I think it is, because I know a lot of people that like entered uni and do their courses just because of the money.
Is this like both guys and girls?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
I agree.
But I think it's more common in guys,
Mm-mm.
because but yeah, a lot of people would rather like pursue money than like enjoy like passion. Like
Like not to say, like I'm not saying that like pursuing your passion is a bad thing, but like also like with money, in a sense you have more freedom. Like let's say you wanted to travel the world, you can do that with money, but or you also have like options. If someone in your family got sick, you could pay for the bills, or you can afford to be more charitable. But if you don't have money, you can't do any of that. But this is a bit like this isn't great, considering like all we talk about in small groups is like
You
like
love for money.
not loving money. Yeah.
we point fingers at people whenever they're working working or don't come on a Sunday because of work, and we just you lover of money. But like, I guess just going to like what you said, Jordan, when you said money buys happiness. What are your thoughts on that, Aiden? Do you think money buys happiness?
Well,
Because people say like, I'd rather cry in like a Lamborghini than
yeah.
be happy in a Toyota Corolla. I drive a Toyota Corolla, by the way.
So he's crying in the car.
Crying in a Toyota Corolla? That's a lose-lose.
Because he wants a Lamborghini.
I feel like I wouldn't say it necessarily brings happiness, but I feel like it can like provide more opportunities to be happy. Like
Like you said earlier, like
do what you want.
do what you want to do.
Yeah, right. Like have more freedom and
Well,
Interesting.
Wait, what do you think? Do you think money buys happiness?
Well, I think happiness is not a constant state, right? So I think happiness is very fleeting. So it's very temporary. I can be happy today, but tomorrow I could suddenly be sad. Say, for example, someone I know suddenly injures themselves, maybe, or bad news comes upon. I can be sad straight away. I can be happy now, but tomorrow I might be sad. And so in that sense, I think money can buy momentary moments of happiness, but it doesn't. It's not fulfilling. It's not satisfying. If that explains. So yes, to answer your question, money can buy happiness, happiness in terms of moments of happiness, but it doesn't buy sustaining happiness, if that makes sense.
Mm.
I had a bit of a controversial question I wanted to ask, and I don't know. Maybe like some people in the church might not like this, but
That's right. We love these sort of questions.
yeah.
Mhm.
But like I was thinking, like all the different denominations in like I guess Christianity, like what is the importance of denominations, and like, because personally, like again, this might be a bit controversial, but I think like denominations is like an earthly kind of thought. Like I think it's more important to have a relationship with Christ than focus on your denomination, rather than to focus more on your denomination and neglect Christ, because, like I said, it's like an earthly thing. Like I was just curious what you guys thought. Like why are denominations so important? And like
That's a good question.
yeah,
You wanna
You want me to? Yeah, I think definitely is denomination is kind of like, to understand it, you have to really understand church history and how the church was formed. And so for us, obviously, I'd hate to use the denomination, but as Presbyterians, first and foremost, we believe that we're followers of Christ. We believe that Christ died. And I think a lot of churches that proclaim Christ as Lord and follow the scriptures, that's church. That's also like, the true marks of a Christian is to have those like pillars of understanding, and those are the core beliefs. But in terms of how it played out, because humans are sinful, the Bible calls us to be united as one body. Churches and denominations, or not necessarily denomination, but like, just to be one body under Christ. But because people disagree on reading the scriptures and understanding the scriptures differently, that's where it all branches out. And so, yeah, I do encourage you to go on a journey of understanding the differences, and because it's such a big topic, and it's kind of hard to kind of just give an answer of saying it's wrong or it's right, because you have to go through that journey with God to figure out what God is working in your heart to be like, oh, I believe this. When I read the scripture, I believe I land on this side of the understanding of what that specific passage says. And we kind of already talked about a bit of it earlier tonight, where Jordan mentioned about baptism. There's some churches that practice child baptism, and there's some churches that do not. But it doesn't mean those are what we like to call secondary issues, not primary. So primary is like Christ is Lord, that he is our Savior, that he is 100% man, 100% God. Like there's these just theological truths from the Bible, from Scripture, that we say, yeah, these are the core beliefs. And all denominations can at least unify on these core beliefs. Now, baptism and how church plays out, that's where denominations kind of branch out. But we all believe the same thing. So those are all secondary issues. So I wouldn't necessarily say they're still important, but then I wouldn't discount, Christianity as a whole just because they have denominations and disagreements. I think it's okay to have disagreements as long as the core values of like what you described are true. And I think that churches that affirm that truth and not go around say, my church is better than yours, and therefore we're true Christians, you guys are fake Christians. Those are the ones that I then tend to question, to say, no, that's not the right mentality. I think you can respect other denominations and respect the beauty of why they are leaning and interpreting scripture that way and respect it, but not necessarily agree with it. Because, like, for example, my brother is Pentecostal, and so they have, speaking in tongues, this and that. Our church is much more conservative. We do believe the scriptures affirm that, but then we don't practice it while he practices it. But I respect that my brother practices it, but I personally wouldn't, because when I read the scriptures, I understand it a certain way, and then he does. Does that make sense? Like how you can respect the differences and appreciate it, and not necessarily discount our whole faith because of it. Yeah.
Would your understanding like, we don't like gel well with the Baptist sort of thing, or?
Like, no. Oh,
When you said like you felt like denominations existed because of human desire.
Oh no, I always thought that like IJ said, it was like denominations, I guess, like, and the things that like make the differences, they're like secondary issues. But like I always thought that, and like IJ said, it was just like history, like different interpretations of the same like texts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do different like, what are they called again? Denominations. Do they have like beef with each other?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh really?
There's churches that have had war with each other, especially on the topic of child baptism. Churches have gone to war.
Oh really?
Over that.
It's a bit contradictory, no?
Of the Christian belief.
Yes.
Right,
yeah, for sure. I agree with that. It is definitely. And that's why I'm saying we shouldn't go to that extreme. We should definitely respect why the other. Like I wouldn't murder my brother just because he wants to speak in tongues, and I do not. I'm glad that he believes in Jesus, and he's glad that I believe in Jesus. But we both can love and respect each other. But we both can be like, but we're different.
Yeah, right.
God has revealed this to me, and I want to practice this. And I can say, well, God has revealed this to me, I want to practice it. But it's good because then it just shows the diversity of our faith, and that we can still be united because of Christ. And let's try and be united in the core primary issues.
Of course.
But it's do your due diligence in that. Actually, I can show you later. There's like a video that describes every denomination, how it's different. And it kind of shows the difference between a cult and also between a solid Bible believing, Christ affirming church.
Right.
Yeah. And that was the journey I had to take when I was visiting churches and when I moved to this church. Funnily enough, sorry, no offense, but amongst the Anglican church circle, Korean churches are seen as cults.
Really?
They have a bad rep amongst Western churches because of Korean culture also mixing into Christian culture.
I heard there was like a lot of cults in Korea.
Yeah, and that's why it's important to know the difference between denominations and kind of educate yourself on the primary importances of important differences. Important like core values. But yeah, that's that answer your question, or at least shed a bit of light. Okay, cool.
So you don't think like different versions of the Bible makes some less reliable?
Oh, do you understand how the Bible, like, do you know the history of how the Bible was formed?
Like the Dead Sea Scrolls?
Not just that, but there's, again, church history. There's like there's a reason why our Bible has 66 books, and let's say, I think the Roman Catholic has like 72 books, while we believe only in the 66. And there's been lots of different church, like early church forefathers that came together and decided which books. And the reason why they chose the books is because it pointed to God's glory and it pointed to the narrative of the gospel the best. While some books were added in and they didn't really have much God-inspired text. I'm just speaking very generally, but this is my general understanding of how the Bible was formed and why we believe, at our church at least, there's 66. And it's to do with, ancient manuscripts, the way in which do you know how the Bible, like ancient manuscripts, are basically the original like texts that get written in ancient history, and how it gets like passed down. They have like thousands of those ancient manuscripts, while other like non-Christian ancient texts will only have like 6 or 7 copies. But exactly, that's why the Bible is like so phenomenal, in that it's got thousands upon thousands of like ancient text.
That's because I read that the Quran has only one version. Yeah, so I was like, oh, that used to be my argument. Like, oh, there's so many versions of the Bible.
But when I say versions,
yeah,
in terms of the thing, that means it confirms. So the more copies it has, and then you can. So I can read those Dead Sea Scrolls in ancient Hebrew, and put it to the modern Bible, like the book, that ancient Dead Sea Scrolls with the book of Isaiah, and it will word for word be correctly translated. Like that's how solid it is. So again, it's like if you look into it, there's a lot of ancient historical, like ancient history.
yeah.
It's how history works, ancient antiquity. Like it's just that's how we know the past. So you can't really fault ancient history at this stage, and just attribute it to like a 30-second social media video that tries to disprove ancient history. That's all. That's just my take on it.
True.
Like, because in my old church, we were educated about it. We went through courses where they taught us about church history, how they all broke, like the Great Reformation, why we broke away from Roman Catholic Church, and a lot of stuff like that. But yes, I digress. But there, we should have this conversation more later.
Oh yeah.
Actually, in my small group last year, we went through baptism and what we believe. So my small group knows what baptism is and which part of the Bible points to it and explains it, and affirms
do you
it.
follow the book,
Which one?
the small group? Don't they follow?
Yeah,
the
we
book?
do, but I researched into it as well,
Okay.
and then also Pastor Jacob agreed with my views as well, because it's the Presbyterian view. But anyway, I digress. We can talk about it later.
Yeah.
I really love how you guys have your own opinions, and forming your own questions. Because a lot of times you can think like, or many times a lot of people, they have that sheep mentality or herd mentality where a lot of their opinions aren't their own. And their opinions come from what they read, say, or heard about. But just listening to your stories, I think both of you guys play devil's advocate quite well, naturally. And that is because you're naturally curious and want to find the answer for yourself, which I think is a great place to be.
It shows that you're actually wrestling with your faith rather than just adopting faith. You're not just adopting faith from being spoon-fed, but rather critically thinking, which is good.
Do you guys have like where do you guys feel like you are wrestling most in your like faith? It could be like a question, or it could be like a suspicion. Like it's like this feeling of, oh man, I don't know if I can really why is something like that? Like why do we have to do this? Like that, it's like you're wrestling with. Do you have one of those sort of feelings, or
Honestly, not really. Like
could be like an attitude?
it's just like, I guess, just in, how do I put this? Like, I guess just it's like how I'm feeling on the day, like, and like whether like, the topic comes up, and whether I'm like curious about whether the topic is right or wrong, or like what we've been taught. But like it's never anything specific. It's just it just like,
comes randomly.
Yeah.
What about you, Jordan?
I think the biggest thing I wrestle with is like I tend to think a lot, so I'll create like a hypothetical scenario, and I'll be like, if I wasn't born a Christian, like if I was born an atheist or a Muslim, would I eventually become a Christian? So why Christianity? So I've been thinking about stuff like that. So why is Christianity like the right religion? Yeah, stuff like that. I'll wrestle with.
Because you can argue like, everyone's just born into a religion, or they just choose the closest religion that's there at that time when they want to convert. You could argue that way as well. That's a very good question that you can really dig deep into, you know?
Yeah. What you know how you're talking about cults before, like how they're very intermingled. Like, how can you tell the difference between a cult and just like a regular church, or like how what makes a cult a cult? Like,
James, do you want to
Does it have to be like
tackle that one?
I'm just trying to find the Bible verse.
Okay, here we go.
like do not worship like false idols and stuff like that?
Yeah, cults are very, like, sometimes some cults can look very Christian
Yeah.
and come across as Christian, but there's always something sinister and and a bit wrong. Not a bit, very wrong. But
right.
James was there, something that...
Well, yeah, so I guess there's a Bible verse that like came to mind as soon as I asked that question. It comes from Matthew chapter 7, verse 15 to 20. The title is like, you will know them by their fruits. So this is Jesus speaking. Beware of false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravenous wolves. You will know them by their fruits. Do men gather grapes from thorn bushes or figs from thistles? Even so, every good tree bears good fruit, but a bad tree bears bad fruit. A good tree cannot bear bad fruit, nor can a bad tree bear good fruit. Every tree that does not bear good fruit is cut down and thrown into the fire. Therefore, by their fruits you will know them. So to simply answer your question, I think we distinguish, I guess, cults from, I guess, real Jesus Bible believing Christians by their fruits. And what do we mean by fruits? Do you have like a little bit of an understanding of what fruits are? So fruits, you can see it as, I might just to be easy to just get the verse out.
Is fruits like
Yeah.
like someone's actions?
So in some sense, yes. But these fruits is what Paul kind of describes. It's like fruits of the Spirit. So you would say like actions or characteristics of a true, genuine believer. Because obviously we'll understand, if you want a true believer, your actions and character would not match what the truth or like what we see in the Bible to be described. And so Paul says, the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. These sort of things are the characteristics that reflect God as well. And do you know how we as Christians, we want to become, or we strive to become more like Jesus. And in doing so, I think the fruits that we display in our lives are these fruits. And if our sole basis of belief is not set on the image of Christ and set on something else, I don't think we'll be displaying these fruits. And that way, I think you can distinguish maybe not just a cult and or a religious group versus a Bible believing Jesus believing like community, but just even like if you compare two people, even a church, say for example, if you are a true genuine believer or not, that sort of thing. Anything to add?
No, yeah, I definitely agree. I think I'd add also the subtle nuances that some people display, like cult-like. I think when you start to see, like, cult people will also sprinkle in things where they'll say, oh, only our church is right, all the other churches are wrong. Only we interpret the Bible well, or interpret the scriptures well, everyone else is wrong. So that already is a red flag, because they're putting glory to their understanding and not putting glory to God and Christ being the Savior. The fact that they're saying, so if our church starts saying, all those other churches, they're wrong, we're the perfect one, we're the only ones going to heaven, everyone else isn't, that's when you're like, okay, that's cult-like behavior as well. Like if you were to just see that, and that's lines up with what James is saying as well.
Right.
So be aware, because some people can be all nice and say the right thing and quote the scriptures, but then when they start to say things, and that's what some Korean churches do and have built a reputation amongst. Like, that's why they said, oh, there's cults in Korean churches, because there's this like arrogance of like, we're the right ones. I remember there was this one where there was this whole thing where they thought the world was going to end in the 90s in Korea, because one teenager had a dream about Jesus coming and saving Korea or something like that. And so everyone gave their money and gave everything because they thought it was like the end, and then it was wrong.
Yeah.
And that's a cult.
Yeah, building from that, like, you know how there's like tribes in Amazon, like that have like zero contact with the outside world. Like, how do they get to know Jesus?
Evangelism. That's why our church keeps sending people out. That's the whole idea.
Well, what if like
If
none
they
of them-
die without knowing.
Yeah, I always thought that was kind of like unfair.
So Jordan's question is, what happens to those tribes deep in the woods or up there in the mountains who have never heard of the gospel and they die? Like, what happens to their eternal life?
Yeah.
That's a very good question. Well, what are your thoughts?
Oh, I was waiting for you to answer.
Honestly, I don't know.
I know in Romans it says that God wants to save everyone, and I don't want to misquote the Bible, but it doesn't mention in Romans about was it Romans? But God has a desire for everyone to be saved, and the time will come where every knee and tongue and tribe will profess Jesus is Lord. But there's also that topic of predestination and God saying, there are the elect, there are the chosen, and obviously if there are chosen, then there's people that aren't chosen. There was people that meant to be in relationship with God, and there's people who aren't, because the Bible affirms that truth of God's complete control over creation. But at the same time, God does affirm, and the scriptures affirm, that we have free will and choice, even though it's a paradox. But that's another topic. But that's why, Christ emphasizes, that we should go forth and evangelize and have a heart to. That's why right now we have a team that's out somewhere that we cannot mention.
Yeah.
But they're going out into the world where it's, even Christianity might not be accepted, and it's a hard place to go to, but we still yet send teams because, like you said, they need to hear. And so I think the answer to that is like, well, God has us to, maybe not necessarily us particularly, but that's why we go to church, make money, give the money to people to send out for those wilderness people. So it isn't not fair. It's like they do have an opportunity, but it lies also with us. So it's not God. It's just like, well, God's like, well, I've given you the means. Are you going to do it? Please do it. Like God gives us free will. And so I think God is fair in that it really depends on us and people, and there are many devout Christians that are willing to do that.
Yeah. Very good questions, guys. Any other questions?
Can I switch the tone of the conversation?
Okay.
I'll be like, is there any like supernatural things you guys believe in? Because I strongly believe in deja vu. I think deja vu is a real thing.
Well, what does deja vu mean? But like, what?
Scientifically, do you know what it means?
No, I don't know what it means. What does it mean?
It just means your brain's exhausted. So that's why you perceive deja vu, but it just means your brain's really exhausted, so it feels familiar, and it's just a tweaking of the brain.
Oh, because I feel like I get deja vu a lot.
I hate to break it to you, but you're just tired, dude.
This guy's a neuroscience student at the University of New South Wales.
But actually, being a Christian, yeah, of course you believe in the most supernatural thing.
Wait, I got Macquarie.
Oh, sorry.
But yes, I believe in supernatural things. I believe a guy died
Oh,
and came to life
No,
and
other than
forgave
that,
our sins.
I
That's the
meant like-
most supernatural
I
thing.
meant like ghosts.
Yeah, I believe. I don't believe in ghosts. I believe they're demons.
Oh yeah.
I believe they're just demons messing with people. Because if you allow the spiritual realm, it will come. Like if you invite demons, demons will come. Like I remember there was that fad about the say yes Charlie and making the pencil move and answer the questions that you asked.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh yeah.
There was this fad, and then like a lot of Christians on social media were like, "Stop doing this! You're like summoning demons if you're like doing it." And my mom also has a lot of stories in the Philippines about Ouija boards and how she had to run away because her cousins would mess with that stuff and things will fly open and stuff like that.
Whoa.
So yeah, I don't mess with the spiritual realm because it is real. The Bible says it is, so it is.
Yeah, I'm kind of scared of those. That
You
kind of
should
stuff.
be.
Kind of scared.
It is really creepy.
Yeah.
Why were you? Oh yeah. Well, other than deja vu, was there any other?
Yeah,
instances?
like the spirits and stuff like that. Like, cause I wouldn't even watch horror movies that like mess with
yeah, no,
religion. Cause kind of scares me.
like The Conjuring.
Yeah, The Conjuring.
Oh, The Exorcist. Oh, my God.
I actually hate horror movies.
Yeah, demon possession is next level. Wasn't there someone at our church? There was an instance of some spiritual.
Well, I
demon
have seen
stuff.
that happen. I have seen that happen.
Someone
Not in this
possessed by
church,
a
but
demon.
not in this church.
Sure.
But a previous church. I can't confidently say, oh, this person was demon possessed. But I guess the actions and I guess just the general look of the person was not normal. Yeah, there was a time when I think there was a newcomer at not this church, but a different church that I used to go to. This was on a Saturday, and it was more like a kind of multicultural get together. And there was a newcomer who came to church for quite a bit, maybe like a month or two. But one Saturday, whilst the sermon was being preached, I think she didn't like interrupt the sermon or like stand up and say, like, "You're wrong. Like what you're saying is false," or like. I only heard commotion in the background. So I'm only going to say what I observed. I heard commotion in the background. I turned around and it was that newcomer, but her eyes were all like red. Just complete red. And she started like convulsing a little bit. And I think she was saying something like, I see them. And then kind of the elders had to escort this person out. But yeah, I don't know if you could consider that demon possessed or yeah. But like even like in this day and age, you have people with mental like how do you say this? Mental health issues. Would you consider mental health issues also an aspect of spiritual attack or demonic attack?
Some Christians think so. Yeah, like demon possession or that. Yeah, some sort of spiritual oppression. Yeah.
Do you ever know what happened to that person?
No.
Oh, they just left.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Apparently, there's a demon possession in our school. One of the classrooms, one kid got demon possessed, and he went psycho and just threw all the chairs and was like, well, and apparently this kid was normal, but then all of a sudden, apparently it got prayed over. Apparently, I reckon it was one of the math rooms.
Ooh.
So one of the rooms
that's kinda
upstairs, like do you know F14 and
Yeah,
stuff
that was
like
my favorite classroom.
Do you remember this? No.
Math was actually my favorite subject.
I'm not surprised.
Oh my god!
Oh my god, man.
Oh my god. Oh my.
Well, on that
I
note,
actually hate that. I hate that.
yeah, when you talk about like demons and stuff, everyone's always on edge deep down. It's
I'm kind of scared right now.
I want to see that back on camera.
10 o'clock, there's no cars in the church.
Oh,
just
why would
us.
you
Oh
say
my god.
that?
Wait, would you rather be stuck in an abandoned hospital or abandoned graveyard?
Are you inside the hospital?
Oh, graveyard's
Yeah.
out in the open. I can just run.
Yeah, graveyard you can just run out, but
Yeah.
hospital you
It's-
have to
it's-
find your way
it's
out.
gated.
Oh,
It's
see,
gated. I
yeah.
can just climb over.
No, there's spikes.
Damn.
I'll get some cuts. I'm not gonna be in a hospital stuck
Yeah, what is it about the hospital that's even like a bit more fearful?
because
I
it's
don't know.
claustrophobic, man. You're like, you can't like it's just
The
you have to
element-
weave.
The element of surprise is always there because you don't know
Yeah.
what's around the corner.
Well, everything's out in the open. You're just like you
Mm.
can see the sky and you feel closer to God.
You're-
Jesus, please come now. At least there's crosses there. Just go to a cross and be like, okay, I'm safe here. Go to a grave with a cross and hug it.
No.
Oh man.
But anyway, on that note, yeah, thank you guys for being a part of the King's Army podcast. It's been a pleasure having you guys as guests.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been such a juicy chat and episode because here we've an hour and 51 minutes.
Oh
So
my.
we've been talking for a while. So thank you for participating. Thank
Mm.
you for sharing your thoughts, sharing who Jesus is to you, and hopefully the viewers may feel a bit more comfortable in approaching you and for asking further questions.
Mm.
But on that note, you have been listening to the King's Army podcast with your host IJ
James.
and our guest.
Jordan.
And Aiden.
Till next time, God bless and stay classy.